your hands up.
Hey guys, what's going on? It is your girl Dimples the Queen, and you are here. We are back. It is Openly Guarded, and I just want to say thank you so much for being here and being consistent with me as we drop these episodes. I cannot believe that we made it this far, and if you have been here since the beginning, I am so grateful to have you. And if you're just getting here, don't worry, because we're just getting started and we have so much more to come. But today we are talking about my story. And you know, from time to time we go back and forth about my guest, and then I'll sit down with you by myself, because I always want to give you what I got going on and give you genuine content and let you know that it's okay to tell your story. And I always want to give you a little bit more of who I am and what I am trying to become every time we evolve and every time we give you an episode. So before people knew me as a business owner or a content creator or even a podcast host, I was a 15-year-old girl who was scared and trying to figure out how to become a mother. But today is not about a story about me surviving. And today is not about me growing into motherhood. Today is about what motherhood actually taught me by going through the journey and really trying my best to navigate through what I was dealing with when I was faced with the challenges that I was faced with. So that's what we're talking about today. So if you join me on this journey, I am going to take you back a little ways, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. And by the end of this episode, I hope that you understand that victory can come in every different dimension, all kinds of different shades, different journeys, and different lessons in life. That if you are resilient enough and if you have the courage to stand up and try to fulfill the feat of whatever it is that may come your way, you can find growth and acceptance and so many amazing things on the other side. So here we go. Finding out I was pregnant, the future that I planned for myself completely changed overnight. I was one of those kids that never really knew exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew that I had a large level of toleration. Not patience, it's a difference. But my level of toleration, I knew it was great because my upbringing was a little stressful and my environment was a little, chaotic. But I made it through. So I knew that I could deal with difficult situations, and I knew that there was a field and a career that I could do with that. So in my eyes, all of the women, they were in the nursing field and they were conquering it, and they were like, they were really taking over. I mean, like, own houses and own land and property and cars and just different things like that. Those were my role models. Like, coming up, being independent and being able to take care of yourself just really was an iconic moment for me. Those were my Whitney Houstons. Those were my Beyoncés. Those were my plaques. If you could build a successful, sustainable, structural foundation for yourself, that was enough for me. And if somebody else felt like that was bare minimum, hey, look, that's where I was at with it. And I knew I couldn't dribble a ball, and I knew I couldn't rap, and I knew that it was a lot of things that I couldn't do, but I knew that I was smart, and I knew that I could learn, and I knew that writing and poetry was my first love. So I told myself that one day I'll be able to fulfill those aspirations, but for now, we're gonna tough it out. Nursing is the field. And when I tell you that I was so disciplined in my artistry of not being outside, to the point that it's bad now. I don't really go outside now, but it's something that I kind of taught myself over time to be consistent in my efforts of wanting to get out the hood, and be consistent in my efforts of wanting a life of grandeur or better things for myself than what I was raised around. So for me, it was more of me being like, it's either comfortability or it's structure. So comfortability or structure for me at that time as a child it was either comfortability or, you know, priorities. And comfortability for me at that time, at that age, was hanging out with people of my age and just being out late and hunching or whatever y'all call it, and just being fresh or whatever, you know? And not saying that that was necessarily a bad thing, because I think it is very important to socialize to a certain extent. I'm not saying going outside playing catch a girl, freak a girl is tolerable, but I'm saying it in a way of you need to know yourself and you need to know what's comfortable for you and what's not. And a lot of times what happened with us when we're kids is we're doing things that are trendy, and that's still happening now, unfortunately. So you're not spending a lot of time trying to figure yourself out. When you do jump off the porch or whatever you call it, you're more so like, what would she do when she jump off the porch, or what he do when he jump? Some people, other people can be different and they can use their minds and continue to. I mean, I was one of those people, so of course guys were interested in me, people were flirting, I was always kind of cute. So, you know, it's gonna happen. And then hormones are out of control. So even if you're not kind of cute, somebody gonna try you. That's just the way it is. But I mean to say it as I knew very, very, very young, and I knew very, very, very early that I did not want to play footsies. I didn't want to play no games with my life, because I saw what happens when you do that. But unfortunately, my situation didn't go the way that I planned. And that happens a lot of the time. Being young and making adult decisions felt very overwhelming for me. It felt very overstimulating for me, just like it would for any child that's that age and being faced with the things that I was faced with, or the things that you're faced with motherhood. Most people make those decisions when they're at a certain age, when they're at a certain financial comfortability. I didn't have those options. So I felt judged. I felt criticized. I felt bullied. I felt harassed. I had to deal with so many different people and their thoughts about me for so long, and I couldn't defend it. I couldn't speak my truth. I couldn't defend myself. I couldn't use my voice, you understand? So it got to a point where people say now, and I read memes, and sometimes they not trigger me, but sometimes I be sitting with them. I'm like, let me talk to God about this. But when they say that meme, and I know you've seen it, it says, whatever they think about me, let them think it, fuck it. Like, that's the meme. It's like, I'm tired of defending myself. I'm not gonna keep standing on a hill. I know who I am. So I'm over it, whatever they think, fuck it. Now, as a child, you don't have that sensibility of that level of psychology to be able to deflect in that way. I consumed everything. I felt everything. The picking, the bullying, the harassment, the judgment from my teachers. You have to understand, I went from being an honor roll student to the problem child overnight. There was no, oh, she hanging out with the wrong crowd. Overnight, baby. Overnight, my story, my title changed. And I was a nerd. I'm still a nerd. My friendships were not with students. I have friendships with teachers. And I mean friendships, no inappropriate shit that be going on. I have friendships with teachers. I cared what my teachers thought about me, because they were the ones that was going to stamp my roster, to stamp my receipt and say, I'm going to go to the next level. So I cared about what they thought about me. So when kids said things, it didn't really bother me as much. But when teachers looked at me different, that shit hurt. It really affected me. It did, because I started to question my own character. I started to question my values. I started to question myself. And that's a lot for a kid. Kids, and when I say kids, I mean that. A lot of people look at people and they not kids. You might not have had the proper extension of childhood that you should have had. Like Michael Jackson, he's always yearned to just, and I've watched since the movie came out, and rest in peace to that legend, rest in peace to that icon. I've watched videos of him being with children, and I promise, the kids seem more mature than him. in every dimension. I mean, pillow fights, and even when it comes to the name calling, you booger, come on now. That's not the behavior of somebody, in my opinion, because of my personal experiences. That's just not the behavior of somebody who is what they're trying to portray in the media or whatever. So it gets very, very, very different. Like I said, I was judged, I was bullied, I was criticized, I was harassed. I went through a lot of different things, and I endured those things because I was unable to speak up, and I was unable to tell my truth about what I had been through, because what I was told by my family and what I needed to respect when it came to the household that I was living in. And that was just the bottom line. So I say it to say that teen moms are often still children themselves, learning while raising a child. Mistakes and lessons are had and they're made over and over again. Even as adults raising kids, we make mistakes. But as a child, trying to keep another child alive, the level of overstimulation, the level of anxiety, the level of impatience, the level of needing to feel like you need to move through life so fast. Like, I need to get married fast. I need to find my life partner now. I need to start building for this kid overnight. So nobody can really judge that unless they live that. So if you yourself are a teen mom right now, or you've been a teen mom, and you felt judged, you felt ridiculed, you felt attacked, you felt like you couldn't use your voice, you're not alone. I felt that way too. And it's only as true as we allow it to be. We are the victors in our stories. We are the most important characters in our own stories. So to use your voice or to not use your voice will always be your choice. And I urge you to use your voice in any type of capacity that you can. There are levels where I'm grateful for social media, and there are levels where I'm not so grateful for social media. Levels where somebody can say, hey, this is something that just happened to me. I don't know what to do. I need advice. And then you have tons and tons of people, shout out to TikTok, that will sit and take out the time to feel empathy for this stranger and take out the time and write something in their comment section to help them. And over time, that gains traction. That came from nothing. That came from a thought. That came from somebody's idea, and I'm grateful for it. I won't mention the times that I'm ungrateful for it. I'm sure that you can relate. But those are the times where I wish I had an outlet. And it was times where I wish I had somebody that I could outcry to, that I could trust. And a lot of times we don't have that. And if you are that person and you need someone and you don't have anybody to talk to, not a crossing guard, not a teacher, not a parent, not a sister, not a brother, not a neighbor, I urge you to make an anonymous account and blur out your face, change your voice, and get your story out there if that's what you got to do so you can protect your identity. But tell your story, because you don't know how many people have the same story, and we don't know how many people have the same person that's causing all of these stories. So I'll leave you with that. And I want to also say that what I went through and what I learned from surviving being a teen mom and going through the traditions of being a teen parent was strength, responsibility, sacrifice, and resilience. And those are things. What I learned was strength, responsibility, sacrifice, and resilience. And those are things that I can take with me forever. And those are things that I don't regret learning. And those are things that I am always going to use throughout my life, my adult life, or however long I'm blessed to be here. I would tell my younger self, have compassion, have grace, and have hope, because you are big shit. For real, I'm talking to her, not y'all. Y'all mind your business. But I would tell her, hey, trot on and truck on, because your intuition is spot on, and your writing will be your freedom. That's why I like the movie Freedom Matters. But we got a different, I got something else for y'all. But I found my joy long ago. Joy. Writing has been my passion, and I found it a long time ago, and I'm grateful that I had. But I didn't have faith. I didn't have structure. I didn't have confidence. And I didn't have support system. And those were things that I've been gifted over time, over these years. And it makes me feel like I'm not off my path. I'm not too late to do what I want to do with my life. And I'm actually right on time for everything. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It doesn't mean that I won't make mistakes. It just means that I'm not going in the wrong direction. I'm not going backwards. I'm not standing still. I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to do, putting one foot in front of the other. And that's really the biggest blessing that I could give myself, to show up for myself and to be present for myself with everything that I've been through and everything that I learned. Show up with a smile, be a teacher. And shout out to Tiana Taylor. She is running my timeline right now. 2026 is truly her year, and she said something that will stick with me. She said, and I'll put the clip in there, but I'm gonna say it too. She said, if you're a teacher, if you have something to teach, then you should teach it. And if you open a door, then you should hold it. And I felt that. And I love acceptance speeches. I look at them all day, because I feel like even if somebody wrote them, it's like the best serenation of poetry that we will ever receive. You understand? Like, they're giving us our flowers while they're receiving theirs, and giving God his grace as well. So I just felt like it was amazing. So shout out to her. And shout out to the BET Awards. You know what I'm saying? Doing their thing, looked amazing. Krispy Kreme, Black excellence at its finest. And I had a good time watching it. Now, I won't lie, I didn't watch it when it first came on. I had to catch it later, but I definitely caught the clips, and I definitely liked up all of the Shade Room and Hollywood Unlocked. And yeah, you know, shout out to everybody that came out looking all good and stuff. But I want to also say that I can't change the past of what I've been through. I can't revive those moments, but I can honor the woman that I'm becoming because of those moments. And I think that's one of my flyest flexes. I've been through a lot, but I use it. And I used to feel bad about it, because people were like, don't carry around baggage. You're not what you've been through, you know? And those things are true. But because I have a message, and because I have a reason why I speak, and I advocate for like mental health awareness, and I advocate for just like protecting yourself from DV and just things of that nature, because I'm a defender, I'm a protector, that's who I am. So it's like I'll always carry these stories with me, because they're a part of my journey as I express how I can feel what you feel, how I can be so empathetic as to know exactly what you're going through, because I've been through so many different levels of pain, and I'm not saying I'm the only one. Everybody absolutely has a story. And my only goal is to tell mine well enough that you feel comfortable to tell yours. I think that when people make things look easy, shout out to the protection team, when people make things look easy, you make other people want to try. And I hope that I make you want to try to tell your story. I hope I encourage you to use your voice while you can, because your voice is so important. And what we're doing is leaving time capsules in the sand, you know, that people can always research and find. And so I hope that everybody gets a chance to do that. Whether you're in school to be a nurse, a lawyer, whatever it is you want to do, people can look up the records and see that that's who you were and that's what you did. So I hope that you do what you got to do to like, no matter if you feel like your dream is silly. I never had faith in writing. Not y'all writing. I love what y'all write. Shout out to Snowfall. Shout out to all of the amazing writers out there when it comes to film, when it comes to cinema, when it comes to music, when it comes to theater, when it comes to everything. And all the great musicians out there that touch all of those genres. But for me, I didn't think that I had what it took to stand where y'all stand, or to be in the sanctuaries y'all be in, or breathe the air y'all breathe. I didn't think I had it. And what I did have, I thought it was mediocre. And then the world got to a place where writers just weren't valuable. They weren't important. I mean, no shade, no tea. We all know that Cardi B has a writer. I believe she also writes, but I believe she has input, because I'm somebody who writes, but I also need input. Shout out to the Libras out there, standing strong, making it look easy. But people started noticing how important writers were when they would shade people, or when they would say things that were like not like ignorant. I call it ignorant. If you don't know, you're ignorant. But collaborations and teamwork comes across all different shades, genres, and boards. So I'll never say if somebody helps you, you had nothing to do with it. It's a collaboration. It's a joint situation. It's a team. Sometimes our very struggles are the very thing that teaches us exactly how strong we really are. And sometimes you need to go through things. Matter of fact, absolutely every time you need to go through things. And a few years ago, I started saying, this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. And I pray that I continue to wake up and go through things that are happening for me, so that I can gain grace, so I can gain structure, so I can gain discipline, so I can gain clarity when it comes to things that come in my life to try to distract me. And energy for me is a big one, because I'm big on energy, so I need good energy. But when bad energy comes around, or when somebody is able to transmute my energy into bad energy, it's hard for me to re-regulate myself. And that's been a challenge for me. I'm getting better, but it's not about how fast I can switch back. It's about understanding what it was that provoked that nerve in me in the first place. So that's what I do when I'm processing those thoughts as to, how did I get here? Why am I so angry? What happened? What did they do? They didn't even do anything. The pizza was just like, why am I so furious? I gotta do deeper searching and figure out. So as we are coming to wrapping up this episode, and I know, we've been on fire, we've been having a good time, learning a lot about the queen, and I'm grateful that and if you made it this far in the episode, gracias, mi amor. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, because I know that I can, you know what I mean? So it's a gift. It's my gift. I want to tell you guys about our movies, our books, and our words of the day. Every time I tell you about a movie, a book, or a word of the day, understand that it has something to do with our direct message today. And it's just another way for me to get you to get the information. We consume information different ways all the time. And sometimes we don't watch TV, or sometimes we don't read, or sometimes we don't do the things that other people like post that they do that we think are really cool, and we didn't get a chance to get around to it yet. So this is my hip to do hero, how you do, to get you a little bit of a quickie preview, sneaky, like, you know, some education while we're together. I want to teach you while we're together. So I'm going to give you a movie of the day, a word of the day, and the book of the day. So we're going to start with the book. The book of the day is called The Gifts of Imperfection. The Gifts of Imperfection is a book that encourages us to let go of who we thought we were supposed to be and embrace who we truly are. It reminds us that vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's actually courage. Yeah. Okay, got that? Now let's move to the movie of the day. The movie of the day is Riding in Cars with Boys. I could cry. This my shit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give y'all both breakdowns because I want y'all to get why I love it so much. And you better watch it. You ain't now, because I want y'all to come back and tell me about this, because this is one of my babies. Drew Barrymore in the motherfucking house. Who else we got? We got another young lady. She passed away. R.I.P. to her. Great actress. I had a great time with her. She starred in a few different movies, and I'm gonna put them in the drop. So shout out to those two young ladies for starring in this movie that I love and the reason why I love this movie so much is because this Drew Barrymore was the writer, and she's a very, very good student, a very smart girl, daddy's little girl. She was like, you know, a little angel and stuff. It's a very, very old movie. I want to say 60s, 70s or whatever. And she ended up liking this boy, and he invited her to like a drive-in movie thing. And you know, when they do drive-in movies back in the day, nobody's watching the movie. So you know what happened. And they're making out and all of this stuff. And then she gets pregnant. And she finds out she's pregnant. And when she finds out she's pregnant, she's like, her parents are not with the whole, you know, smortion thing. So long story short, she has to keep the kid. She keeps the kid. They're like, who's the baby daddy? So when she introduces him to, he's just like the biggest loser in America. It's just like, I feel so bad for her. Anyway, long story short, speed. He, the dad is like a officer and all this other stuff or whatever. And so he's like, let me just try to like find you guys a house and he can get a job and you can get a job. And she's just like, no, I wanted to go to college. I want to go to school. He was like, well, you're pregnant now, so that's over. And da-da-da. So long story short, he forces her to get married to the kid or whatever. And I know I'm killing this for y'all right now, but it's really old and you're going to watch it anyway. Trust me, it's really good. If I like it, you're going to love it. So he forces her to get married. He gets this horrible toast at her wedding, like, we've had better days, and they cheers that or whatever. So long story short, the first night at the home that he finds her, it's like roaches everywhere. It's like this hood trap looking place or whatever. And the scene that made me be like, this is my all-time favorite movie is because when I found out I was pregnant, I swore up and down the street I was gonna have a girl. The scene, I'm gonna put it in here. And I'm also gonna tell y'all about it. The scene when she gives birth to the baby, he's wrapped up in blue. She's like, no, I had a girl. The doctor's literally trying to give her a kid, bro. And she's pushing the kid like, I had a girl, I had a girl. I ain't gonna say I did that. I'm just gonna say it was definitely like, I felt, what is it called? I definitely felt like a sense of, I've been here before. Like, this is familiar. This is very, very familiar. Anyway, the movie is a good movie. You should watch it. I learned a lot of lessons about the movie. Good lessons. It was funny, but it was good. It was bad, it was good. But it's Drew Barrymore, so who doesn't love Drew Barrymore? It explores forgiveness and resilience and understanding how to grow while you're raising a child. I like my explanation better. Anyway. Okay, so the word of the day. I picked 2 words of the day just because I fell in love with both of these words. And one of them is nature and the other one is fortitude. Nature is to care for or encourage or support the growth or development of something or someone. And I feel like I'm somebody who just naturally is a nurturer. It's just I can't help it. Even to a stranger, I can't help it. Fortitude. Fortitude is the courage and the inner strength to feel pain, but still prevail and be persistent with grace, no matter the adversity or the issues you may incur. Okay. If you have made it this far in the episode, we're at the end. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. Again, this is Openly Guarded. We are open, but we are guarded. I am your host, Dimples the Queen, and don't forget, this is a place for real stories, real growth, and real lessons. Until next time, you know what to do. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, and share this with someone who cares. Thank you so much. Peace.
Put your hands up.
It's lit.